Hey Broncos country, what's going on out there? It's your guy, been bleeding orange and blue since I was a kid running around the Front Range, freezing my tail off at Old Mile High and now watching every snap from Dove Valley like it's my full-time job. Man, I gotta tell ya, the 2026 NFL Draft is right around the corner, and the buzz in Broncos country is real. Picture this, April 23rd, Pittsburgh lights up. First round hits on ESPN and ABC, and we're all glued to our screens. Then rounds 2 and 3 roll through on the 24th, and 4 through 7 close it out on the 25th. You can stream every single pick on the ESPN app if you want that old school war room feel at home. Now hold up, because our Broncos aren't on the clock in round 1 this year. First selection comes at number 62 in the second round. That's the price you pay when you've been building something solid like we have. But 7 picks total? That's 62, 108, 111, 170, 246, 256, and 257. 7 real opportunities to add bodies that fit what Sean Payton and the whole staff are cooking up inside the building. I've been watching this roster close, just like every one of you out there grinding through the offseason. We've got Bo Nix under center guys developing exactly like we hoped. Calm, accurate, leader type. Behind him, Jarrett Stidham and Sam Ehlinger. Solid veterans who know the system and can step in if needed. Running back room's got some real juice right now. J.K. Dobbins bringing that veteran toughness. R.J. Harvey with the fresh legs. Tyler Beatty, Jaleel McLaughlin, Cody Schrader, Deuce Vaughn, and Adam Prentice locking things down at fullback. Those guys can run between the tackles, catch out of the backfield, and Prentice is a mauler in the run game. Wide receiver group. Courtland Sutton is still our alpha. Jalen Waddle brings that explosive speed after the trade. Pat Bryant, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Michael Bandy. That room can stretch the field from sideline to sideline and make plays after the catch. Offensive lines anchored by the vets we trust. Mike McGlinchey, Garrett Bowles, Quinn Miners, Ben Powers, and the rest of that crew up front holding the pocket together. But here's the thing that's got everybody talking around Broncos country these days. Tight end. We've got Evan Engram, Adam Troutman, Nate Adkins, Lucas Krull, and Caleb Lohner on the roster right now. Solid group, no doubt about it. Engram's got that veteran know-how. Troutman's a big target who's been reliable in the red zone. Atkins brings versatility. Krull and Lohner give us depth and special teams help. But if we're being straight with each other, and I know we are out here in Broncos country, this team could use a little more consistent impact at the position. Some guys who can really win in space, stretch the seam, turn a check down into a 20-yard gain, and give Bo Nix another trusted target on third and medium. That's why I've been digging into what Jeff Legwold's been reporting straight from inside Dove Valley. He's got the latest on the Broncos' plans, the guys they're evaluating, and how they might deploy those 7 picks. In Broncos country, if this scenario plays out the way the early whispers and visits suggest, we could see some real movement starting right there at 62. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though. This is all about reading the board, trusting the process, and adding the right fits without forcing anything. No hype, just straight talk from one die-hard who's watched this team through Super Bowl highs and the tough rebuild years to another. I did the homework like I always do. Went through every single name on the current roster, cross-checked it against the official lists as of right now in April 2026, and I'm only talking about the guys who are actually in the building. No ghosts, no rumors about players who moved on, just the real 2026 Broncos squad we've got heading into draft week. That's how we keep it honest out here in Colorado. The excitement is building. That familiar draft week buzz that hits different when you've been through as many of these as I have. 7 picks, starting late round 2. What positions get the priority? How do they address that tight end room? Who's popping on the radar? Stick with me, Broncos country, because we're just getting warmed up, and I've got a lot more to break down with you. We're not starting from zero here. This roster already has a core that's shown it can compete in the AFC West. Bo Nix is growing into the guy we drafted him to be. The skill players around him are young, hungry, and talented. The offensive line has that veteran grit mixed with youth. Defense is flying around with Pat Surtain 2 locking down one side, Zach Allen and DJ Jones up front, and the linebackers and safeties doing their thing. But every contender sharpens the edges. Tight end feels like one of those edges where a smart addition could push us from good to scary. That's the kind of football I love: patient, calculated, building something that lasts instead of chasing quick fixes. So as April 23rd gets closer, keep your eyes on Pittsburgh, keep trusting what's happening inside Dove Valley, and remember we're all in this together. Alright Broncos country, let's lean into this a little more, because the tight end conversation is the one that's really got me fired up heading into this draft. Like I said earlier, we've got Evan Engram, Adam Troutman, Nate Adkins, Lucas Krull, and Caleb Lohner holding it down right now. Those guys have been out there week in and week out, blocking when the scheme calls for it, catching what Bo throws their way, and contributing on special teams. Engram brings that veteran savvy and route running polish you can't teach. Troutman's got the size and the hands to be a red zone weapon. Adkins is versatile enough to flex in and out. Krull gives us another big body, and Lohner adds depth and toughness. They've all done their jobs and earned their spots. But if you've been watching the tape the way I have, and I know a lot of you have, you see there's room for a guy who can truly pop as a receiving threat. Someone who can run routes like a wideout, win contested catches down the field, and force defenses to account for the middle of the field on every snap. That's the kind of impact the coaching staff has been chasing, and Jeff Legwold's reporting lines up with what a lot of us fans have been feeling after last season. Fast forward to pick 62, late in the second round. Picture this, the board falls just right. A couple of teams reach early, and suddenly Denver's got a real shot at a difference maker who fits Payton's offense like a glove. Two names that keep coming up loud and clear are Max Klare out of Ohio State and Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. Both of them made official visits to Denver in the last few weeks, and they're sitting in that top 30 visitor range that usually means something. These aren't just names on a big board, these are guys who could walk in the door and immediately give us something we've been missing. Klare and Stowers are both elite receivers for the tight end position. They've shown the ability to take the top off defenses, stretch the field vertically, and make plays after the catch in space. Stowers especially stands out as one of the pure athletes in this entire draft class. Back in high school, he was jumping to 13 meters in the high jump, and at the combine back in February, he put on an absolute show vertical leap of 115.6 centimeters, broad jump 3-point for 3 meters, and ran the 40 in 4.51 seconds. That kind of testing makes scouts and coaches sit up straight, because it translates to the field when the lights are on. If this scenario plays out and one of these guys is still sitting there when we're on the clock at 62, Broncos country, I'm telling you it could be one of those picks that feels electric the moment it happens. Now, let's be real for a second, we're not talking about blowing up the tight end room we already have. Evan Engram isn't going anywhere. He brings experience and reliability that a young quarterback like Bo Nix can lean on. Adam Troutman's been a solid contributor and knows the system. Nate Adkins, Lucas Krull, Caleb Lohner, they all have roles, and they've earned them. Adding a guy like Klare or Stowers wouldn't be about replacing anybody. It would be about elevating the whole group. It gives Bo another weapon he can trust on third down, opens up even more play-action looks, and forces defenses to respect the seam in when the running game is clicking. I've been around this team long enough to know how one or two smart draft picks can shift the whole offense. Remember how certain guys came in and just fit from day one? This feels like one of those spots. The staff isn't throwing darts at a board, they've done the homework, brought these prospects in for visits, watched the tape, talked to the coaches, and now it's about letting the board dictate the move. If we walk away with one of these tight ends early, it's the kind of move that pushes everything forward without tearing anything down. That's how you build real depth. That's how you stay ahead in a division that doesn't hand out easy wins. And Broncos country, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything, we've already got a good roster right now. Bo Nix is developing into exactly what we hoped for when we drafted him. The skill players around him are young and hungry with upside. The offensive line has that veteran anchor we need. Defense is stacked with Pat Surtain II doing his thing on the outside, Zach Allen and DJ Jones controlling the line, and the rest of that crew flying to the ball. But every real contender has a spot or two they sharpen every offseason. Tight end feels like one of those spots where a smart pick at 62 could pay real dividends down the line. That's the kind of football I love watching, patient, smart, building for the long haul instead of panicking and reaching. We've seen what happens when you do it the right way, and that's what this front office has been showing us. We're rolling into the later rounds now, Broncos country, and this is honestly where the real Broncos DNA shows up year after year. Picks 108 and 111 still on day 2, then 170, 246, 256, and 257 on day 3. 7 chances to add talent without having to give up extra assets. That's real value, folks. Jeff Legwold's been all over the latest from inside the building, and the message coming through loud and clear is that they're looking for guys who fit the scheme, bring the right mentality, compete right away, and grow with the program. Let's say this unfolds the way a lot of us are hoping. Maybe we land one of those tight end prospects early on day 2, then use the rest of the draft to add smart depth across the board. Maybe another offensive lineman who can step in and keep protecting Bo Nix. Maybe a corner or safety who can rotate in and keep that defense nasty and physical. The beauty of having 7 picks is the flexibility. We don't have to reach or force anything. We can let the board come to us and take the best player available that fits what Payton wants. Here's what gets me genuinely excited as a fan who's seen it all over the decades. This team isn't rebuilding from scratch anymore. We've got a legitimate core already in place: Bo Nix, Courtland Sutton, Jalen Waddle, Pat Surtain II. The offensive line with Mike McGlinchey, Quinn Miners, Garrett Bowles, and Ben Powers. The linebackers and safeties who've been balling out. Adding the right pieces around that core is exactly how you go from competitive to true contender. That's the story we're living right now in Broncos country, and it feels good after everything we've been through. I've analyzed every single guy on the current roster, double-checked and triple-checked it against every official source as of this week in April 2026, and I'm sticking strictly to the facts. No wild speculation about guys who aren't here. Just the real squad we've got, plus the smart additions we could make through these 7 picks. If the draft plays out and we walk out of Pittsburgh with a dynamic tight end plus some depth pieces on the lines and in the secondary, this offense could look downright scary next fall when the pads come on. Broncos country, I've been doing this a long time, and I still get that same rush every single draft season. It's that mix of hope and realism, excitement tempered by patience, the belief that the process inside Dove Valley is working. We're not chasing rings with smoke and mirrors or one-year rentals. We're building something that can last and compete with the best in the league year after year. So as April 23rd gets closer and the lights go on in Pittsburgh, keep your eyes peeled. Keep trusting what's happening behind the scenes. And remember, no matter how the picks fall, we're still the same faithful who bleed orange and blue through every high and every low. Let's ride, Broncos country. I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you want at 62 if the board falls right? How do you see these 7 picks shaping the future of this team? Would you love to add another tight end or go heavy on the lines? I'm reading every single one of them because this is what makes it fun talking ball with the best fans in the league. I'll be back with more as draft weekend gets here, breaking down every pick and what it means for us. Until then, stay strong. Stay loud, keep that Broncos pride alive, and let's get ready for another season of Broncos football. This is what we live for, and I wouldn't have it any other way.